give you an idea of how the so-called elites are treated compared to us plebs. I'll give you a few examples personally. I used to run my own business and was based in a attraction in London, and this was for a number of years. And part of my role, which I took on myself, was to meet and greet all of the celebrities and VIPs, royals, politicians, etc. that came through the doors. I got to meet, shake hands and wash them thoroughly afterwards with people like Boris Johnson, the Saudi royal family, like Jonathan Ross and his wife, who were lovely actually, and their children. Footballers like Gianfranco Zola, Salah, Mohamed Salah came when he was about 21. We even got his signature, so that was quite cool as well. I'm a Liverpool fan. I don't even want to talk about that or I'll cry. That's another story. But anyway, what do we have to do for these so-called celebrities, politicians and elites? Well, we had queues and queues in these attractions on a busy day, especially in the summer, where families with bargain tickets that they'd collected from newspapers to allow them the entry price would wait for 2.5 hours and stand there and get preyed upon by pickpockets and London street life really rained upon. The usual, whether it was hot, whether it was cold, and they'd have to queue, and it was outrageous seeing the length of these queues. Anyway, of course, the celebrities, politicians, royal family members, and some of the others were used to actually their PR teams or their PAs or whatever you want to call them used to contact the attraction in advance, and then they'd show up at a side door and be taken in and then taken through a short route to a curtain where they would literally join the front of the next group or form their own group going through that attraction, so bypassing all of the public and all of the means that the public have to go through: the queuing, the barrier, the ticketing, the security in some cases, the scrutiny by the staff, including myself, because part of my role as well was to scrutinise people that came in and just pre-warn and spot any trouble as well. So it was an interesting role actually. So what did I learn from this? Well, it's clear, isn't it? There were exceptions to the rule. There were a couple of child actors that refused to do this and joined the queue. Gianfranco Zola, the Italian footballer, he refused to do this and he joined the queue with a group of young footballers that were training at Chelsea at the time. And I actually talked to him for a couple of minutes and I said to him, look, if you wanted to, are you getting any hassle on the street here? Have you been recognised? And he's tiny, as you know, and he had a hoodie on and he had a hood up. And he said, no, it's fine. He said, and I don't want to. I have the young boys with me who are training and I want them to understand what it's like to be public. I thought that was amazing from Zola. He got my utmost respect from that. And one of the guys with him, I think at the time, was a young Mohamed Salah. So, and got his signature on the back of a flyer that we had for the attraction. I don't know where that signature is now, probably in a case somewhere. But again, how we're, or the public were treated, and how somebody like Boris Johnson could just waltz in with his family, bypass everybody, and go straight through. And I don't know the financial aspect, whether they paid or not. I imagine a lot of them didn't. A lot of them were used for PR as well in the newspaper the next day. Now, this is what we're coming to. So we're the people in the queue. We're the people waiting 2.5 hours to get the cut price tickets. Yeah, to see the same shit that everybody else has got access to, except they don't need to queue. They don't need to buy the ticket. It's just there. And that disparity is so clear. And this is what we're going to be living under. The middle classes are being absolutely decimated, and the middle classes have been made to aspire to the upper class and have bought themselves expensive properties. They've overstretched, over-mortgaged for status. They have loans, debts, credit cards, school fees, dentist fees. They have bills that you and I wouldn't even begin to understand, let alone want to acknowledge. So the disparity that's coming for the people that aspire to those people who I just mentioned, who at the end of the day, when all was said and done, saw the same attraction as everybody else, but just got in quicker and without paying. The middle classes aren't going to have access even to, although I say that the middle classes, I don't believe in a class system, I'm talking economically, are not going to have access to fast track, right, to additionals, right? That is going to be preserved for people of true wealth. And the business aspect of this is, well, it's going to be horrific. Talking about this with my girlfriend about Mallorca has been closed until 2021. Closed. So yes, it will be pristine when you go back, but how many small hotels, I mean, how many of the cafes and bars that I can remember, or beautiful little pensions, if you like, where you go and stay, equivalent to a hotel, but a locally run one, how many of those will survive now? But you can bet your life that the Kempinskis of the world, the 5-star resorts, the 6-star resorts that don't even get advertised, they'll still be there, and we'll still be working in them. Well, I won't be. But the middle classes who have had such a good time over the past 10 years, who've been able to afford a 5-star resort, or just once a year maybe off to wherever, that life surely has now gone, and they will be faced with the same choices and the same kind of poverty as everybody else. But still, those that signed their soul away, the celebrities, the pop stars, the actors, and not all of them, but the ones that allow themselves to be used as mouthpiece and tools, they will be the ones that will still grace the magazines and the websites, the Heat magazines, the Vogues and all that. They'll still be there. Of course they will. And because people will always buy them. People will always aspire to want that fast track entry. They want to know that somebody can just walk past a whole queue and whisk in somewhere without paying, and they want to be that person one day. What a stupid, fake thought process that must be, to live like that, to aspire to want to be those types of people, who has just been proven to be paedophiles, thieves, liars, and deviants of the lowest order. So, Aspirations. I learned a lot from that role, from meeting those people, and that not all celebrities are, and politicians even, are like this. But unfortunately, those who are recruited into those industries now have been, like the police as well, have been recruited for their psychopathic, sociopathic behavioural, because they're the easiest to manipulate by giving fake power to. And what's even worse is the public give them the authority. They hand their authority over to these people because they're scared. Cheers.